6 months ago, I declared 2026 the year of less. So let's see how that's going. Hi friends, welcome back. I'm MC, and like I said, 2026 is the year of less for me, and it's time for me to do a little bit of a check-in and see how this plan is actually going. If you haven't seen the video yet, I will leave that linked for you, or if you need a reminder of what my goals were, you can go check that out. But basically, I had decided that I wanted my word of the year for 2026 to be less, because I wanted to do less things, own less things, just kind of leave more room in my life for the things that inspire me and that bring me joy and stuff like that, by eliminating the things that don't. We are going to jump right on in to everything today, and I rewatched my video so that I could make sure that I had all of my goals written down and I could really assess how I did with all of them, or how I'm still doing. The year's not over. And it was so weird to watch one of my older videos. But the first goal on my list is that I wanted to have 30 skeins of yarn on my yarn shelf in my yarn stash. And there is a whole playlist full of stash tracking and updates and all that kind of stuff here on YouTube as well. But if you've been following along with that journey, you will know that we did hit that goal. Now we are slightly back above the 30 skeins, but we're hovering around it. We're dancing around 30, and I'm totally okay with that. 30 was kind of just an arbitrary number that I picked because I thought it would fit nicely on my shelf and give me room to see everything and give everything a little bit of room to breathe. So as long as I'm in and around that number, I'm totally fine with it. Now we are slightly creeping up, but I don't think it's a problem. I think we're gonna be just fine. We are doing great on that goal. The next goal is hilarious, and I won't spend very much time on it, but I said that I wanted to have less than 100 physical books on my shelves. And I distinctly remember when I was editing that video going, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have even put it in there. The point that I was trying to make was that I wanted to kind of keep this space fresh and inspiring and all of that. And basically I was trying to curate these bookshelves behind me. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't think the number has changed at all. It might have gone down by one book. That's about it. I can't even believe that I put that in that video. That was hilarious to go back and watch and hear myself talk about that, because I knew, even as the words were leaving my mouth, I knew it wasn't going to happen. But here we are talking about how it didn't happen, and it's still not going to happen. It's 100% not going to happen before the end of the year. My next goal was that I wanted to continue to have 5 or less works in progress going on at any given time. And I'll say that I never really was paying too much attention to this, but I think I did just fine. There may have been times when I creeped up to 6, but I think I mostly have been around the 2 mark. I have spent a lot of this year with very few whips going at any given time, and this is so weird. I know that this is weird, but as of right now, I don't really count weaving as a work in progress, because there are a couple of weavings that I have done, and I just kind of putz with them when I feel like it, and I don't really count them as a work in progress. I know that sounds wild. I don't have any going on at the moment, but I think the times when I might have crept up to 6 might have been a time that I had a weaving going, and so technically it would have been the 6 works in progress, but I was counting it as 5 or under because I wasn't counting the weaving. I know this makes no sense. I can't explain to you why my brain views it that way, but that's what we're working with right now. But I think we did just fine on that. And I think just like with the number of skeins on my shelves, I'm not holding myself to a certain number and going to be disappointed if I'm not at that number. I just think it's like a nice range that I want to be in. And so I am totally fine with how things have been going in the whips realm. Next up, this goal is both a success and a little bit of a flop in a sense, because I wanted to have less releases of patterns this year. And I have been succeeding greatly at that. But I wanted to have fewer releases so that I could put more effort into those releases that I did have. And that's where I think I have been failing. So I have only released, it is July. I have released 4 patterns so far this year. So we are in month 7 and I've only released 4 patterns. I do have 1 pattern coming out at the very, very end of July. So we will have 5 patterns in 7 months. Whereas last year we were in the double digits. I don't think we're going to get to the double digits this year. I am on track. I do have a couple of things already planned out. So I'm on track to do anywhere between 8 and 10 pattern releases this year. I feel like we're probably going to end up landing on 9. And that feels okay. That feels totally fine to me. Now, where I need to find some balance is that I wanted to put more effort into these pattern releases. And what I'm finding is that by backing off and not keeping myself so strictly regimented with a monthly or even more than monthly pattern release, I have forgotten about them a little bit more. So they've kind of fallen, not that I've forgotten about them, but I haven't, it hasn't been a constant. And so therefore, suddenly, sometimes they sneak up on me a little bit and I don't have the time to put in the effort that I wanted to into that release, into promoting it ahead of time. And so then sometimes you might have seen me just go, oh, surprise, this pattern's releasing tomorrow. So I definitely need to get better about that aspect of it. I'm really comfortable with where I am pattern-wise, and I do think that I am doing a lot of work behind the scenes to really curate a collection of patterns that I enjoy, and really work on some patterns that maybe take me a little bit longer to develop and I don't feel the pressure to put things out every month. So that's fantastic, but I need to work on the marketing side of things because that is where I am falling behind a bit. So that is a good goal for me to keep for the second half of the year because it's just, I gotta do something about it. I have to do something about it. Next, we have another goal that kind of, to me, a little bit feels like both a success and a failure. Not necessarily a failure, just a little like womp womp. But that is that I wanted to use what I have. And I ended up in that first video changing that to play with what I have. So in terms of all of the different craft supplies and things that I have, I wanted to use them, play with them, discover some of the things that I have hiding in my closet, and instead of buying all kinds of new stuff, play with what I have. And the reason that I feel a little sad about this one is that I actually started to do this because I filmed a video called Kit It or Quit It where I showed you all of the kits that I have in my possession, various kits for embroidery and Legos and felting and all kinds of things. And I pulled them out, I showed them to you, and I actually even started a video, a vlog going through working on some of those kits. And not very far into filming that vlog, I started to realize that I was already not interested in some of the kits. I was losing interest. I wasn't having fun filming the video. I didn't really want to own the kits anymore. And so that is a little bit of a success in that I'm knowing myself and knowing what I'm enjoying and not enjoying, and I can let go of the things even though I haven't completed the kit. But also, you know, I wanted to take you along on that journey with me. And I still do have some kits that I want to do. I've been hanging on to the ones that I don't want anymore just so that I can show you them. But I haven't filmed that yet. So I feel successful in that I am understanding myself a little bit more, and I am willing to get rid of things that I don't really want without any guilt associated with it. But I also feel sad that the goal took that kind of turn instead of letting me just play with all my stuff, you know? The next goal that I discussed was that I wanted to basically consume less, be on my phone less, just be in a digital space less. And I have been pretty successful with that. I actually started that journey a full year ago, and I feel like I have been pretty successful, although there have been some backslides. I really struggled with the end of winter into spring transition. You will know if you have seen any of my podcasts that I was struggling. I was just not motivated to do anything, and I was reaching for my phone more often during that time, and it was kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in a little bit, because being off of my phone really helps me increase my creativity, but I was feeling slumpy in my creativity, and so then I was reaching for my phone, but that just made that worse. So I finally got myself out of it. I definitely am still struggling a little bit with coming out of that, but you know, nothing's gonna be perfect. I think we are always gonna have ups and downs, and so I'm heading into an up right now, and that is great, and I need to make sure that next time there is a down, I don't feel bad about it. I just learn different ways to get out of it, and to help boost my creativity, maybe in a different way, to find a way to reach for something that's not a device. But overall, I think I did pretty good with this goal in general, and I think we're on track to keep going for the rest of the year. We're getting towards the end of the list, and the goals get less and less measurable as we get there, but the next thing that I wanted to do is set up some work hours for myself, and I am very excited to say that I have pretty much done that. I spent months, probably the first 4 months of the year, I timed everything I did. I downloaded an app where I could time everything I did and categorize it, and I timed everything. I timed how long it took me to eat, how long it took me to get ready in the morning, how long I spent driving to do various errands, working on books, working on patterns, dyeing yarn, packaging orders, literally everything that was work related, and things that might happen during the workday, like eating. I didn't time like how long it took me to shower at the end of the day, because I didn't feel like I needed that information, but like a lunch break, and if I had to run to the post office to mail some orders, I was timing everything that could in any way be related to my work. And I sat down and I analyzed all of it, and I took a look at my calendar, and I have time blocked out different sections of the day, different days of the week, to give myself a guideline for work. And it has been fantastic. Something that I still struggle with a little bit is the flexibility, because both of my jobs, I can't always plan in advance. There are some things that I can plan, but there are some things that I might get short notice on, and I have to pivot. I might have to switch my book work and my dyeing one day, and I'm not great at doing that yet, but I feel so much more confident knowing really how long things take me to do. I highly recommend it maybe not for 4 months. You might not need to do it that long. I just really collected a lot of data. I think I was also like a little bit afraid to analyze the data, and so I just kept timing and just kept putting it up and putting it off. But it feels really good to know all of that information. And I definitely feel like, even though, you know, like we've said, there are the ups, there are the downs, there are weeks where I totally fall off of my schedule, I have gotten so much better and so much more comfortable with my work hours, and it makes me feel really good. So I love that. And the last goal that I had said was that I wanted to be more present with you. And I floated the idea of a newsletter in that video, and in the back of my head, that was always an actual goal that I wanted, was to start a newsletter, and I did that. So now I have a monthly newsletter in addition to the emails that I send out with pattern releases and sales and all that kind of stuff. I now have the Inside Scoop, which I send out on the first Friday of every month, giving you a little bit more information of what's going on behind the scenes, what you can expect coming up, all of that stuff. So I'm really excited about that. It has only happened twice so far. There's another one coming soon, but it feels good to have that going. And then also a secret goal that I was way too afraid to share back then was that I really wanted to start some kind of way to connect with you on a more personal level, whether that was Patreon or YouTube memberships or separate membership of its own, or a Discord server, or something. At that point in time, I really wasn't sure what it was going to be, but I finally settled on Patreon, and that has been going for, I don't know, a little over a month now. I think it started in the middle of June. Yeah, that's right. It started in the middle of June. So it has been going great. We have a fantastic group over there, and that was really, really scary, and I didn't want to say it out loud that I was thinking about doing anything like that. But we did it, and I think that it has been absolutely fantastic, and I love my patrons very dearly. So I think overall, for the year of less, we are doing pretty darn good. I am really, really happy with the goals that I set for myself and how they've been going. There's always room for improvement, but I think we can like pretty well stay on track for the rest of the year and feel really good with how the year went in the end. Oh, I also wanted to share one more little piece of statistics with you, just in the sense of numbers and how things have changed between last year and this year. So last year, I went a little wild at the end of the year, you may remember, and I ended up trying to see how many projects I could finish by the end of the year. I think I had around 50-ish that were done in like late fall. And by the end of the year, I ended up with 75 completed projects. Now, a lot of those, like at least 15 of them were like, I cleared a bobbin from my spinning wheel and there was like 10 yards of yarn that I plied, or like I made a bunch of little bookmarks that took me less than 5 minutes. So was there a little bit of cheating? Yes, there was some cheating. But when you just think about the fact that I completed 75 things last year, and we are currently in July, towards the end of July this year, I have completed 19 things. 19 things. And that is including, let's see, that is 10 knits, 1 crochet. I've only completed 1 crochet thing. 1 spin. Oh no, sorry, 2 spins. So it's 20 things. I just realized I just finished a spin and I forgot to mark it off here on here yet. So I've completed 20 things. So there were 2 spins, 2 weavings, and 5 sewing projects. Does that equal 20? 10 knits, 5 sews, that's 15. 2 weavings, 2 spinnings, and a crochet. Yeah, so 20 projects so far this year. Now, if you think some of those numbers sound a little weird, stay tuned because I do have a few technically unfinished things that I need to get to work on. Oh my God, can you hear Shandy snoring? I don't know if you could hear that. This dog snores so loud. Anyway, stay tuned for me dealing with a few things that I have not dealt with, like ends that need to be woven in and stuff like that. Because I don't mark anything as completed until it is actually 100% completely done. So anyway, I think we're doing great. I think we're doing great. I would love to know how things are going for you. Did you choose a word for the year? Did you set any goals? How are they going? Can I give you a little encouragement? I would love to know how things are going in your world, and let me know if you need a little cheerleader because I can be there for you. Anyway, thanks so much for coming along and checking in with me. Until next time, take care of you, and I will see you later. Bye.